Hello, dog lovers. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. Welcome to another live dog training show session. Hopefully, you're doing well. If you're new here, welcome and make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video or if I go live. Today we'll talk about dogs and I'll answer all your dog related questions. Please ask your questions in the chat, live chat area. I will read them and I will answer them right away. And if you are new here in this channel, we talk about dogs, all about dogs, anything to do with dogs training, dogs health, dogs diet, beagles, all kinds of breed of dogs, all the issues and problems that you have with your dogs. We focus on mainly training and educating you to become an educated dog lover using play and praise reward system without the use of treats, food, aversive tools like shock collars, prong collars, choke chain collars, using force or domination or being alpha. These methods, they're not healthy to be used for you and your dog. Instead, I focus on teaching you to learn how to train and educate yourself to become a very educated dog lover who knows how to train and modify dog's behavior using a simple method of play and praise reward system. What that means is instead of using treats or food or domination or force or anything like that, you're using play and praise. Why are we using play and praise? Because they're natural, they're healthy, they don't have any side effects, they don't cause any pain or mental fear or negative. They don't offer a negative response to your dog's behavior. Instead of treats or food or force or domination, which they cause a lot of negative effect in your dog. They make you, first of all, treats or food make you to be dependent on foods and treats. You have to always use them. The problem with treats and food is that people, they get used to using it and they never get used to letting it go and fade it out. Yes, treats and food give you some results, but it's not a long-term results. And new studies have shown that if we use treats and food, we are actually not as effective as uh, when we use play or praise for a reward. The reason for that I'm saying is it's because there was a not recent, but studies have been shown and done, especially with by Gregory Burns, Dr. Gregory Burns. He did a test and took some he did some study. He took some dogs and did an MRI scanning of their brain and tested to see if the dogs they like are us humans because of the food that we're giving, or is it because they just simply love us? And the amazing thing was that when they offered food to the dog as a reward, the scan in the MRI scan for the brain waves of the dogs was kind of active. It didn't do really major, it didn't have major effects on them when they offered food or treats to the dog. But as soon as they started rewarding the dog with praise or toys, the scan of the brain scan of these dogs went over the limit. Basically, it just jumped off And you can see in his research and in his report that it shows that the brain waves and the brain activity just goes over the limit when a dog is offered praise or toy play. So that shows us and teaches us that dogs are connected to us naturally. So naturally, what it means, play and praise are natural sources of reward for our dogs. And we can benefit from these two things, that it's available for free, play and praise, to train our dogs. So that is an interesting study, an interesting fact that we need to remember and know, that treat training is not something that we want to focus on. So let's start to answer some questions. So meanwhile, again, if you have any questions, make sure that you ask the questions in the chat area. And at the end of the show, if there is any leftover questions that I don't get to answer, please leave those questions in the comments area if I miss and I don't see them. Let's start with Sundaria. My beagle is 2 months old and it keeps biting me. What to do? Well, biting you is a natural behavior. Biting a 2-month-old beagle, it's naturally is going to bite. A puppy would bite, and if it doesn't bite, there's something wrong in a way. So fear not. I have solutions for you, and I will share them with you. Biting is something that they're doing it because naturally they have to do it. It's part of their instincts. Biting, puppies and dogs and canines in general, they do bite each other. It's part of learning how to fight, how to bite. It's a social skill that they're learning, and they need to practice that, first of all. And it's something that they need to do it. Unfortunately, what happens, puppies tend to practice this behavior with humans. So the other reason why they do bite is because they're teething. Puppies, they usually replace the puppy teeth with the adult teeth. So they have when they do that, when that happens, it kind of causes a lot of strange feelings in their gums. They're either in pain or they get that sensation of ticklish, being something like that. So in order to overcome that, they bite, and it helps them to bite and either feel better or also get a little bit distracted. So what I usually suggest to do is provide bones, raw bones for your dog, or chew toys for your puppy, so it can work on those, so get distracted from biting you, or focusing on biting and its sensation that is getting, and also it soothes them. The other solution is also ice. You can provide ice that cools off their gum too. So those are the solutions in a way. But I will share a video that I just recently did about biting. I will put the link in the chat area. That's one of my newest videos and newest information about biting. It's about puppy biting, beagle puppy biting. So go ahead and watch that. It will give you a little bit more information as well. But if puppies are biting, don't get upset, don't get angry. Just come up with ways to solve the issue. One of the other solutions is provide another puppies or dogs to play with, so they won't practice it on you. Thomas is asking, I just got a shock collar for my dog due to him barking at other dogs when I take him out. it's working so far. Is this a good way to get him to stop this behavior? Because I think it's done good so far. So far, it may work, but in the long term, it will have negative effects, and it will cause a lot of not only physical damage, but also mental and emotional damage. Shock collar is a band-aid solution, is not the real way of treating this problem, this issue. Um, One of the problems that I think you need to focus on is, let's say your dog is barking. Let's say if you were upset about something. Let's say, and your neighbor was bothering you. Instead of me coming and helping you to solve the real problem that is your neighbor, if I come and hurt you somehow with something, I put, I don't know, a band-aid on you, and then start beating you to stop being annoyed by the neighbor. So that's what I'm doing to you. When you put a shock collar on a dog, you're punishing your dog for, first of all, communicating to you, and second of all, for expressing its emotions and its feelings. And also, I'm punishing the dog for barking. I'm not really solving the main problem. The main problem in this case is something is bothering your dog that is barking. The reason it's barking, there could be few reasons. Either it's excitement, could be that stress, could be anxiety, could be just expressing its emotions, but what is happening. But when you use shock collar, you're telling your dog that when you say something, when you communicate to me, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm going to shut you off. Because when you put a shock collar, whether any trainer tells you, whether any professional tells you, whether the company who's selling the shock collar tells you that no, this doesn't hurt your dog, doesn't cause any pain in your dog. If it doesn't, then why are you putting it? Why is it working? And why do you have to put the shock collar on your dog? If it's not causing any pain, or if it doesn't do anything, then why are we putting shock collars on the dogs? What's the point then? So it does something to the dog, whether it's physical or emotional or mental, it does something to the dog, right? Which is negative form of teaching or communicating back to the dog. If you are feeling comfortable to put a shock collar on your dog's neck and then use it, that means you're really desperate. So if you're desperate and your dog is barking, don't put your dog in that situation that barks. Just avoid that situation and focus on building a clear communication between you and your dog so you can help your dog. When you put a shock collar on your dog, you're saying, you know what? I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to hear you. I'm just going to deal with it for now, because for now it is working. Yes, you're shutting off your dog, but in a long term, this barking and this feeling that your dog has will become more and more deeply wounded in your dog, to the point that your dog is going to be more aggressive, more stressed, more anxious, and is going to give you a lot more extreme behavior, which even the shock collar may not even help you in that time. So for a short term, it's working, but in the long term, it doesn't. I don't suggest using shock collars. If you are that desperate that you have to use shock collars, I suggest you remove it, put it aside, and work on 15 minutes of training, daily training with your dog, so you can build that communication with your dog. spend and invest 15 minutes, half an hour a day to teach your dog that this is good, this is bad, this is yes, this is no. If you want to learn more how to communicate to your dog, watch videos of my channel. I have plenty of videos that I teach how to communicate to your dog, how to train your dog. Um, it's a matter of just understanding what you need to focus on. It's not a matter of let's deal with this issue for now, and then later on we'll figure out what to do. You know what I mean? That shouldn't be the solution. You have to be focusing on. Let me just show you this. So I'll share the screen with you. I want you to focus on this, okay? So focus on this. Focus on providing your dog's daily 5 essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. Focus on this. Don't focus on providing band-aid solution. What you're doing with the shock collar, that's what you're doing. You're providing one of these, right? I'm not saying it equals to this, but it's like providing one thing. You need to provide these 5 things on a daily basis in order for your dog to be healthy, happy, well behaved. If your dog is barking and you are this desperate to use shock collar to stop your dog from behaving badly and stop barking, it's because you're not focused on the real thing, which is providing proper amount of exercise, daily training with your dog, providing proper amount of socialization, good care, and then affection. Okay, I can go and talk about this for hours, but that's my take on using the shock collar. So don't focus on that. If you need me to talk about this a little bit more, let me know in the chat area. I'll talk about this topic a little bit more. If you like what you're hearing and what you're getting in this channel, make sure to click like button as well, so the channel will start exploding. All right, next question is from Janine. I have a 6-month-old Aussie Doodle. He sometimes gets upset if we pick him up. He bares his teeth and growls at us. So again, this is one of the problems that dog owners deal with. And I don't want you to feel bad when I talk about this and I say this. When a dog is growling at you, that means you don't have a good relationship with your dog. What has happened here is that if you look at this formula again, exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection, probably your Aussie Doodle, you have focused on providing your Aussie Doodle, probably focused on 4 and 5 mostly, okay? You're providing good care for your dog and a lot of affection. A lot of affection becomes basically, spoiling the dog. And when you share care, typical dog owner will focus on providing a lot of care, good care and affection, rather than the other parts of this formula. So what happens when you only focus on care and affection? You're, first of all, spoiling your dog. And when you spoil your dog feels like you're not providing its daily 5 essential. Therefore, you're not its real human. Yes, your dog comes to you when needs food and shelter and that, this and that, but it doesn't have a real connection with you. If a dog was really connected with you and you had provided a dog's daily 5 essential needs, which is exercise, training, socialization, care, and then affection, that dog will do anything for you, will let you do anything with it. Touch it, pick it up, do whatever, right? But if a dog is growling at you, it's a conversation, it's a communication, it's a signal to you that you are not providing its daily five essential needs. This is so important for you to learn and understand that it will change the way you have connection with your dog. Again, many dog owners, they just focus on care and affection, right? And when you focus only on care and affection, in human point of view, you're providing everything. You think that because I'm doing this, I'm providing all this, then my dog should listen to me, do whatever I want. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. You have to provide exercise, right? Proper amount of exercise. For instance, you get up in the morning, instead of saying good morning, sweetie pie, sharing affection. Oh, my cutie, so cute. Uh, and then what you do, let me share with you breakfast. You want breakfast? Care. Instead of, again, other stuff, you're sharing care. So you share affection, another form of affection to your dog. And then you're saying, oh, you need to go poo poo pee pee. Okay, let me just take you 5 minutes there. So you just take it for 5 minutes, and that's it. And then you expect your dog to respect you and to listen to you and give back to you. But the real way of doing it is get up in the morning, put the leash on, take it for a walk, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever. Do a little bit of training. If you're getting out of the door, say sit, stay. You're crossing the street, sit, stay. Come back, do a 5-10 minutes training, mini training session. Meanwhile, while you're walking your dog and you're at home, do some socialization. Introduce the neighbor, Jim. That's Jim mowing the lawn. That's Miss Patty. She bakes nice muffins. Let's go say hi to her. And then you come back and you give breakfast, for example. And after you've done all this for exercise training, socialization, care, now you and your dog are ready to give and share affection because you've done your part, right? So you've done your part of sharing exercise training, socialization, and care. Now you're going to say, you know what, I've done all this. Now I want to hug. I want to pick you up. Your dog is going to say, sure, you've done everything for me, so I'll let you pick me up. But if you don't do this formula, for example, your dog is going to give you back negative feedback. That's what it is. Basically, your dog is giving you a negative feedback. Make sense? If it does, give it a like. Hit the like button, and also share this video with your friends and family members so they can join in and enjoy this live training session. Let's go to Pooja. Hi, our beagle is 1 year old and doesn't let us go outside the house. He keeps barking. He is so depending that we can't even go to loo, I think washroom. You mean you? Okay, so your beagle is training you instead of you train your dog. That's what's happening, right? You're allowing your dog to train you and tell you what to do instead of the opposite. One thing that I want you again remember is dogs have been designed and bred by humans for humans. So what does that mean? Is because we noticed that dogs are great animals to have in our society, in our family, um, in our group. So we bred them. We bred them to allow them to become part of our family. So if they were good, so we keep them. If they were not good, we wouldn't breed them, right? So the reason we breed them is because they listen to us, because they see us so-called as masters. Don't want you to be a dictator and be mastering your dog, so-called master your dog. But one of the unfortunate things that you have to accept and understand is that your dog needs you to tell it what to do. Unfortunately, you have to do that. If you don't tell your dog what to do, when to do, how to do things, you will have a dog who's confused, stressed, and is going to give you all kinds of problems. So tell your dog what to do. Tell your dog, this is what I want you to do. And don't feel bad. If you feel bad, then you're not doing a good thing to your dog. If you feel bad telling your dog to do this and that, you are not you're not being fair to your dog. Humans hate to be told what to do by humans, which is okay. We have the right to do that. And we have the option to be either liking or disliking being told or not to be told. But dogs, on the other side, other hand, they have been bred and designed to be told what to do. The human has to tell them what to do. You have the right to tell your dog what to do, what not to do. Not to be dictator to your dog, but you have to tell them what to do. If you can't tell them what to do, that means you don't have a good communication system with your dog. So what that means is you're not providing, again, your dog's daily 5 essential needs, which is exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection, right? So if you don't provide training, which is communication with your dog also, it means that you're not telling your dog what to do. You're focused on only providing care and affection as well. So that's what happening with you and your beagle. You are not focused on providing exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. If you want to learn, by the way, what to do, exactly what to do, how to do things, I suggest you to, take an online course. Take, one of my online courses. Learn what to do and how to do things. Educate yourself. Become an educated dog lover using one of the courses. I have created these online courses so you can come and learn what to do and how to do things so you can have a healthy and happy, well-behaved dog. So if you have problems, I have solutions. One of these courses will help you to overcome the problems that you have. I would suggest you to go with naked dog training. That's one of the courses that I focus on, mainly on providing you with the information to communicate with your dog, especially if you have a dog who has behavioral issues or it's a normal dog and you want to make it better. So education is very important. You have to learn what to do and how to do things. So let me go back to the formula again. So exercise, proper amount of exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. This is part of the education to get it in the course as well. So provide these 5 essential needs. And then what is happening also here is that your dog is so confused and so stressed that it doesn't know what to do. It's so dependent on you. It doesn't have independency. So what happens, it stresses when you're not present, right? So it panics. So you have to teach your beagle, this is what I want you to do when I'm not around. This is what I want you to do when we see another human being. This is what I want you to do when people come home, guests or people come to our home. This is what I want you to do when you see a dog outside. You have to teach these things to your dog. And if you don't teach it, It doesn't know what to do. It comes all from you, first of all, learning, taking an online course or learning what to do, and then teaching it to your dog. So I'm teaching you, you need to teach your dog, right? So you're learning from me, but your dog is not, your beagle is not learning anything from you. You have to teach it. Does it make sense? And Thomas is just saying follow up that his dog is a Staffordshire Bull Terrier and he's 2 years old. Especially if it's a 2 years old, it's not the right time to use shock collars, because you're going to ruin the relationship that you have tried to build for 2 years with your dog. Kat has a question. I washed my dog's bed and now he refuses to sleep on it. What can I do to get him to sleep on it again? That is something that I've never come across. Could be I'm guessing there could be two things happening. One is that the detergent that you're using and the smell is just annoying your dog. You know, your dogs are very sensitive. You know, they have a strong sense of scent, smell. So it could be that it's either too strong for it, the scent, or the detergent that you have used. Could be that it's bothering it, you know, just basically it's just not feeling good, or it doesn't feel clean, like it feels different. So what you want to do is maybe wash it again, but just without the detergent, to rinse off the smell and all that, and then make it maybe put its toys and stuff that he's been using in the bed, so it can catch the scent from those regular stuff, smell and covering. Try that. That is something that I always learn new things. I've been doing this for, I don't know, 14, 15 years now, and I always come up with questions that it surprises me. But yeah, it is. If it was me, I would have done that. I would rewash the bedding and just rinse it off and just see if it's going to work again. Ant Girl 89, hi, how are you? I'm very well, thank you for being here. I've been teaching my dog to sit and wait in front of food and before doors. It's going well, but do you have any tips I could use to teach him even better? Yes. So when we are focused on training dogs, we need to focus on 3 levels or 3 things, basically. It's distractions, duration, and distance. 3 things: distractions, durations, and distance. So whenever you're training your dog, so for example, you're teaching your dog to sit in front of the food and wait, stay, and then release for it to eat, right? So today you're asking it to sit and stay for, let's say, 30 seconds. Next week, you can ask it to sit and stay for 50 seconds, right? And then week after, you can start asking it to sit for a minute, minute and a half. So that's duration. Now you can do another form of training, which is this distance. You can put the food further from the dog and ask it to sit and stay. And then stay for 30 seconds, 50 seconds, 1 minute, and all that. Now, the third one is the distraction. This is the most complex and most difficult for a dog to learn and perform. Distraction is having any form of other distractions during what your dog is used to. So in this case, your dog is used to sit away from the food and wait for, let's say, 30 seconds. Now you're adding distraction. Maybe your other dog is passing by. Maybe you are running around. Maybe you have your dog's favorite toy playing around in the background. Maybe kids are running around. Maybe family members are calling your dog. All those things can be distraction. So these are things that you have to learn and practice throughout time. It doesn't happen overnight. So what happens is usually when we teach or train dogs is we start with basic obedience, beginners level, intermediate level, and then advanced level. And every time we go to the next level, we're adding more distance, duration, and distractions. So those are the three things that you can focus on to um, maybe improve your dog's levels, abilities. Great question. Um, Piyush, my dog is eating food regularly. I don't understand the question. There's a question there, question mark, but I don't understand the question. Can you explain and expand more on that? Jan, I'm getting an Aussie mix in June 17. She will be 8 weeks old. Can you give me some tips to start off on the right foot with her? This is again, I've been talking about this recently a lot. I don't suggest getting a puppy at 8 weeks old. If possible, ask your breeder. If you're getting it from the breeder, uh, hopefully you're getting it from the breeder. If you could ask your breeder to hold on to the puppy for another, if the puppies are staying with its parents and siblings, to stay a little bit longer with parents and siblings for maybe 4 more weeks. So you want to get your puppy anytime, I would say between the 10 weeks and 12 weeks old. We need that time, that extra 2, 3 weeks or 4 weeks of the puppy to spend with its siblings and parents, original parents, a little bit longer, because they learn many things that the dog can learn from its parents. But what happens when we separate them too early, let's say at 8 weeks, 6 or 8 weeks, and it comes to humans world and humans families and home, humans don't do the right things. They don't take the right steps, which causes a lot of uh, things to behaviors to develop in your puppy, unwanted behaviors, including separation anxiety, including even puppy biting. That is something, one of the reasons we want them to stay longer is because they can practice puppy biting, bite inhibition with their siblings rather than you. And most reputable breeders, they do a proper job of allowing the puppies to be socialized and to be potty trained. Those two things are very important uh, before being let go to a human's home. So first of all, you want to make sure that you're getting it at the right age and from the right breeder, a proper breeder, and you're getting a good feedback from your breeder. Yes, for example, the breeder is saying, I've been socializing this puppy and everything is well and everything is going well. So potty trained, house trained, and all that, right? So that would be the first thing. Now, to start off doing the right thing, what you want to do is, the first thing that I suggest is don't let your puppy to have freedom in the house. The first day or week, don't just let it go all over the place. Have the place um, puppy puppy proof. Puppy basics. I'm putting a video link in the chat area that you can also go ahead and watch that. Don't let your puppy to have the freedom, have the house puppy proof. So your puppy comes in the house, either it's in a area in the house that is just little corner, or it's in a crate. You don't have to give him the whole house. One of the reasons we don't want to do that is because if you give the whole house, then he's going to start peeing and pooping everywhere else, and then he's going to piss you off, and you're going to get pissed, and you're going to punish the dog, which you don't want to do that and go through that. The other thing is that when you give too much space to a puppy, it stresses them out, and it becomes overwhelming for puppies. So basically, watch my video that I have in the chat area. I call it Puppy Basics. Watch that video. I go a little bit more in details about the things that you need to do and don't do. That comes from me adopting my new puppy, and I'm sharing those information. So I've been going through the same thing. Roy is asking how to stop my beagle to smell always, smell everything. I think that's what you mean, to smell everything. Sniffing, yes. Your beagle is sniffing. So what I would suggest you to do, Roy, watch my new video coming up on Sunday, which I talk about this topic a little bit in that video. But basically, you have to understand, beagles are scent dogs. Scent dogs are prone to sniff everything. That's what they've been bred for. It's like you teach a kid to play piano, and then you don't give it piano. Say, learn only to play piano, but you're not going to have a piano. You have to offer piano to that kid. If you teach it piano to play piano, you have to give it piano as well, right? So it's like we bred the beagles for sniffing, and if you don't give them the opportunity to sniff, it's just not going to work. It's going to backfire, and it's going to affect their behavior. It's going to affect you because you get stressed because it's sniffing. Just let it sniff. If it wants to sniff anything for any period of time, just let it sniff. That's my number one tip when it comes to beagles and their issue of sniffing. Once you understand this, and once you grasp on this idea that this beagle has been trained to play piano, and I need to give it piano, changes everything. So let it do whatever it wants. By the way, watch the video coming on Sunday for more info. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. Let me just check if everything is going well. And we're doing good. If you like what you're hearing and what you're getting, please give it a like too. We have 12 people viewing at the moment, so please let's hit those like buttons. So bring it up to 12. Let's make it even number 12. So okay, we have Edu. Edu is asking, I have a 3-month-old German Shepherd pup. My issue is that my dog always tags or refuses when on a leash. How can I correct it? I'm also starting basic training. Any tips, please? My issue is that my dog always tags or refuses when on leash. Yes. So again, Edu, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you would get notified as soon as I post my video, which is coming on Sunday. It's about leash walk, so please watch that as well and get the information that you need to improve the walk on a leash. But one of the issues that I think many dog owners experience when it comes to leash walking their dog is that when a dog is not walking with you, is not working with you, that's what you get. You get a dog who refuses the leash, refuses to be on the leash, and refuses to walk properly on leash. So one of the suggestions that I have is don't try to practice the leash walk at the park in the beginning. Try to practice it in home, in your living room, in your backyard, in your front yard, wherever you have space, not in the park or not on the streets, because that is not the environment that you want to train a dog or teach a dog. It's like, we have schools, we have classroom. That's the environment that we teach the kids. We don't take them, it would be great to take them to nature and say, let's have a classroom here and let's learn about this and that. But it's whenever we do that, we still have that classroom environment in the nature, let's say, and we focus on teaching certain things. But because the kids are going to be outside, they're not going to be fully focused, fully paying attention to the topic that we are talking. That's why, because they get distracted. So therefore, we take them to classroom, which is more controlled environment. There's no distractions, so they can learn, right? So that's the option. That's the way that you want to look at when it comes to training. You don't take a dog in the park and train it in the park. That's not the environment that dog can learn. That's not the place that you want to teach either, because not only the dog is distracted, you're distracted, and you can teach and your dog can't learn. So learn and teach in the home, at home, in the environment that is calm and relaxed and controlled, and then move on to the next level. There are 5 levels that you need to pay attention when it comes to training dogs. Level 1 is living room. Level 2 is backyard. Level 3 is front yard. Level 4 is streets. Level 5 is the dog park or the park. So from the living room to the dog park, it may take you 6 months, it may take you a year, but you need to take these steps, these levels, before you get there. If you go straight from living room to the park, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get refusal from your dog, because your dog is saying, you know what, this is too much for me. I am overwhelmed with all these things. And for example, your dog can say, you know what, I want to go and sniff that. I want to go and chase that. I want to do that. It doesn't want to learn, sit and stay in that moment, right? It doesn't have the focus to learn. And then what happens is you get upset because your dog is not listening to you, is not learning, and you punish your dog. You bring it back home and you get pissed and say, I'm a dog, this and that. Oh, it's pissing me off. It's not learning. It's stubborn. It's this, it's that. You start naming and blaming your dog rather than blaming yourself that you didn't do the right step. You made the wrong choices for your dog. So make the right choices so you can get better results. Does that make sense? If it does, give it a like. All right. The epic word. Sir, my beagle is not barking at seeing any strangers. It will come. Beagles are bark. They don't really bark. They're bayers. They bay rather than bark. They're not obviously protection dog. If that's what you're looking for, they're not bred to bark for protection and alarming humans. They have been bred to bay, because as you know, beagles, they sound different than regular dogs. They don't bark or howl. Bassets howl, but beagles, they bay. The reason for that is because they have been bred to go and find the prey and then chase it and then bay to alarm the hunter to know where the prey is so they can go and get it. They're not hunters. They're not protection dog or anything like that. They are just alarm dogs. So if it's not barking, it will happen eventually, but don't expect it to bark. Expect it to bay. It's a different. There's a different. Elizabeth Crosso is in the house. She's one of my students. She's having a good time in our course. I'm hoping. Um, if you want to join again one of my online courses, feel free to join the course in using the link in the description area. There's a course for you to join one of my online courses. Feel free to do so. Hi, Saro. Very interesting. I never considered walking my mini poodle Timmy before breakfast, so they aren't starving and a little weak at this time. No, actually, you know, that is why this formula is very important for you to focus on. You know, I I talked about this about in the course as well. But basically, a dog, when it wakes up in the morning, it doesn't say I'm hungry. It says I need exercise. I need physical, mental stimulation before I get hungry. Dogs and animals, they fast. They don't think about food all the time. It is the dog who are urbanized who are thinking about food all the time. The reason for that is because humans are eating all the time. This is something that I think I'm going to talk about this now. It's a very interesting topic that I would love to talk about it. Humans are not animals, are not designed to eat all the time. We are not designed to be fed and put stuff in our mouth, in our stomach all the time, 24/7. Unfortunately, humans have been doing this for years now, not centuries, but years, right? We eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks in between. That is not the way we are meant to function. We are not supposed to be eating all the time. We are supposed to eat whenever we are hungry. Fasting is one of the things that dogs and animals do, and humans should do, and some humans are doing. We should be fasting 18 hours up to 24 hours every day, fasting maybe even days, which is very good for our health. But dogs, because they have been urbanized and they are living with humans who are eating all the time, therefore they think they need to eat all the time too. They're exposed and exposed to a lot of food all the time. A human is eating all the time, so dog says where there's food available all the time, then that's how it's supposed to be. But if you start fasting and you don't care about eating food, your dog is going to be also thinking that way in a way. But also, when they wake up in the morning, they're not thinking about food. They're not thinking about, I want to eat. Animals in nature in general, they don't eat all the time. They only, especially prey dog, prey animals, they only eat when they're hungry. What that means is every few days they eat only few days. Every few days they get hungry, they go and hunt, kill, eat, full stomach, right? till they can't walk anymore, and they just lie down for a few days and start walking a little bit here and there. They don't do much. They just walk around, and then after a few days they get hungry again, they eat. So that's how nature is, right? But dogs and humans are not like that anymore. We should be changing the way we eat, the way we function, especially when it comes around food. So your dog needs more mental and physical stimulation rather than food. So if you focus on those, I think you will get better results as well. Not only mentally and emotionally and uh, physically, but also health wise, your dog is going to be much more healthier if you feed it less, actually, not two, three, four, 5 times a day. Feed it, try to feed your dog once or twice a day. That's all. And this is another reason why I don't suggest using treats or food to train dogs, because when we use treats or food to train dogs, we're constantly feeding them, whether if it's a small amount of food or we are feeding, good treats or good things and stuff like that. It's natural food. They're not supposed to be fed and be eating all the time, especially when it comes to training. When you're training, you're feeding them the whole time, which is not natural. When you feed a dog all the time, it spikes their insulin level, which causes a lot of health issues, including humans. Again, if you're eating all the time, it's spiking our insulin levels, which causes a lot of health issues in our dogs. Thank you, Elizabeth, for question and bringing that up. Pooja, he says, thanks a lot for your feedback and comments. I will definitely work on it. Great to hear that. Um, Lourdes, we are getting a beagle. Should we let it be? I think you're saying should we let it be free? I think that's what you mean. No, one of the worst things that you can do to a new dog when you're bringing it home is to let it be free. In human mind, we think that's the best thing that we can do to a dog. Let it be free. But that's the worst thing. Imagine you go to I pick you up and take you to a new environment, and I say, that's it. Here's your place, right? And I give you 2,000 square foot of space, even 2,000 square foot, right? Uh, you will be overwhelmed. There's so many rooms, so many places, so many things. If I put you in, let's say, in an all-inclusive uh, luxury place for you to go, you will be stressed again because there's so many things to do. I can go there, I can go there, I can do this, I can do that. Even though you're thinking positive, but there's still negativity happening in there, which is being overwhelmed with all this, right? For you, like I remember when we used to go to those good old days, all inclusive trips that we used to go. Uh, there was no social distancing. Uh, Even though we were in a fun place, we were stressed because we had to do this, we had to do that. There was party going on at 4 o'clock. There was a thing happening at 3 o'clock. There was that happening at 2 o'clock. We had to make. It was stressful. I was not enjoying it. I was not having fun because even though I'm in paradise, I'm not having fun. The same thing happens with your dog. Even though you think you're bringing your dog to a fun place, it will stress your dog. So don't feel bad limiting the freedom of your dog. You can offer freedom throughout weeks to your dog. Learn more how to relax your dog rather than giving more freedom to your dog. Copy Moldova. How to make my dog to understand he's not allowed on the couch, only if I ask him to come on it. Great question. Um, you know, one of the things that you have to understand is dogs are also black and white. What that means is either yes or no, good or bad. They're like that. Unlike humans, who we are colorful, we go all over the place, we wave through emotions and feelings and behaviors. Dogs are very black and white. They're either good or bad, black and white, yes or no. When you tell your dog that I want you to come on the couch when I let you come, what it does, it confuses the dog. Because what happens, the dog says, okay, you let me in on the couch now, so that means I can come on the couch. And then it thinks that that's what it's supposed to do, come on the couch. And then next time it gets on the couch and you say, no, 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 I didn't tell you to get on the couch, get off. You punish the dog to and get off, and push the dog, get off the couch, right? What happens is the dog says, what happened? Last time you let me on the couch, but this time, no, you don't let me to get on the couch. And then a day later, you're saying, come on the couch. I let you come on the couch. Now the dog says, are you sure? Am I supposed to come on the couch? And come on the couch. So dog comes on the couch. And then next day, the dog thinks, okay, I think I'm allowed on the couch, comes on the couch on its own, and you say, no, 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 get off the couch again. So you're sending wrong message to the dog. So here's what I want you to do and understand. You either allow the dog on the couch or you don't allow it on the couch. That is much more clearer for your dog to understand and to accept and to live with. Am I allowed on the couch or I'm not allowed on the couch? That is much more clear for your dog to learn and follow through. Because if you one day you're saying yes, next day you know, and yes and no, it confuses the dog. The dog says, what the hell is going on? Do you want me on the couch or you can? I'm not allowed on the couch. What is it? What is it you want? So you have to be clear yourself. And don't feel bad saying yes or no to your dog. Saying no to your dog, it doesn't make your dog to hate you. It doesn't make your dog to feel that you are the worst person in the world. It actually tells your dog that you're the best human in the world, because you're so clear, you're telling it yes or no, and it knows it, and it appreciates that. And if you say, once you say yes to your dog, you can let your dog to go on the couch, you just have to let it on the couch. There's no, you can't tell your dog anymore, get off the couch, because you allowed it to get on the couch. So the dogs learn yes or no, and they appreciate that much more than what you think that they are allowed, or much more than what you think that they feel, right? So I hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a video also. I want you to go ahead and watch it. Dogs on Furniture. It's in the chat area. Go ahead and watch that. I talk a little bit more about that, about this topic. So you have to understand. So what has happened, for some reason, YouTube is rejecting me to share that video with you on the chat area. I don't understand why. Let me see if I just share the link. Okay, the link was just shared. I don't know. Okay, could be there. Just go ahead and check it out. Could be there. For some reason, YouTube gave me a signal that it had to reject the comment that I was sharing, but I just shared the link. So the link is there. Hopefully you can go ahead and watch that video. For some reason that happened. Okay, let's go to the next question, which is from Frank. Saro, I have an 8 weeks old beagle who is biting a lot. me more than my girlfriend, and sometimes now growling too. How do we address this early? So the biting is a problem that I just talked about it in the beginning of the show. So what I would do is, you know, when a puppy, especially 8 weeks old puppy, bites and growls, there are two things happening. Either it's excited, it's happy and is playing, biting and growling, or it's stressed. It's aggressive, it's stressed and anxious, and it's growling and biting. Whether it's excited or stressed, it's a sign that you need to provide another forms of stimulation for your puppy. Your puppy has to either play with other puppies. This is why I was saying earlier, it's not recommended to let a puppy to leave its parents and its sibling too early, because this is the time that they need to practice this stuff, biting on their own kind, on their own brothers and sisters and mom, dad, rather than on humans. And when you take a puppy too early, right, at 8 weeks old, 6, 7, 8 weeks old, you're not allowing the puppy to learn these things, and you're not letting the puppy to practice these things on its own kind, and it starts practicing on humans, which causes you to be stressed and angry at your puppy, which causes your relationship to be going downwards, right? So what I want you to do is, I'm going to share this link again for this video of biting. I'm going to put it in the chat area. Go ahead and watch that. But this is a great example of what happens when we again, detach the puppy from its siblings too early, and plus what happens when we don't give enough forms of avenues for a puppy to release and practice this natural instinct, right? So provide chew toys, provide other puppies if possible to play and train Frank, and hopefully that will help solve the problem. But also watch the video. Thank you for the question. Jan, thank you so much for your advice. You're welcome, Jan. Edu is giving a thumbs up. Great. Irvi, I think that's a cool name. Hi, Saro. Irvi from India. Thank you for being here, Irvi. I have a 6-month-old beagle female, but I cannot go for bath. She stands outside and barking. If you have a 6-month-old beagle, you have to teach your beagle sit and stay and wait. These are the 3 commands that I think everybody should start teaching their puppies and dogs, at least. Sit, stay, and come, and also wait. The wait command is different than stay. Okay, stay is the difference between stay and wait. Is stay, you are visible to your dog can see you, and the stay is maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes maximum. Whereas wait, you're not visible to your dog, and it's about 10 minutes to 4 hours. That's the difference between stay and wait. Okay, so you have to teach your dog to stay first, and then teach it wait. Now, when you do that, you're telling your dog, wait here, I'll be back, right? And when you teach your dog that you'll be back, your dog now is not it's not stressed or anxious because you're not present. And when you teach that, then you can go and do your stuff while you do your stuff. Your dog is waiting for you instead of staying, instead of being stressed and anxious. What is happening? Where is my mom or dad? Right? So what you want to do, you want to teach it that wait means I'll be back. And when you teach that, your dog now knows that, oh, went to this place, it'll be back. I know that it's going to come back. So most dog owners, what they do is they just go, for example, if you're going to take a shower, you just go take a shower. You don't tell anything to your dog. Your dog says, what happened? Where did you go? What did I do? Why did you leave me alone? Puppies, when you leave them alone, especially dogs, also dogs, when you leave them alone, in a way, it means that you're punishing them. They've done something wrong and you're punishing them, right? You're kicking them out of your group, right? When you leave them alone. But you have to teach your dog that, yes, you can be left alone and be independent, but you have to teach it. And the way you do that is you teach them sit, stay, come, and wait, right? So I'm going to share a video in the chat area where you can learn how to teach a dog a wait command. Again, if you need to learn more about commands and training your dog, I suggest you to register to one of my online courses. In your case, I would suggest to Urvi, I suggest you to go with Naked Dog Training, this course, where you learn everything plus much more. So let's take a break and let's talk about this course. Let's talk about what is included in the course, so you have a better idea of what you're getting when you register to this course. So you get intro to play and praise reward system. You get to learn how to train your dog using play and praise reward system. The system, you learn the system without the use of treats, food, aversive tools, force, or shock collars, and all those nasty gadgets, right? And also you learn how dogs learn, right? So the first part was how you learn to use this system with your dog, and then we talk about how dogs learn using that system. Again, we talk about a dog's 5 essential needs. We talk about corrections and reward. We start with basic obedience, lesson 1, 2, up to 5, and then we play some games, and then we continue on basic obedience, lessons 6 and 7. So basic obedience 1 is sit, leash walking on loose leash. Basic obedience lesson 2 is sit and release, and on, stay, and on, okay? We go all the way to stand command, and we finish the course with our final thoughts. So you get the whole idea of how to train your dog to become a healthy and happy, well-behaved dog, the whole package. Hopefully that helps you, Urvi. Regina is in the house. Yes, so true. My dog always wanted to eat after our walk, so that's what we did. Yes, that's a great feedback. There you go. Dogs, they don't want to just eat. They want to go and explore and have mental, physical stimulation and then eat. They want to get hungry and then hunt and then eat. That's basically what you want to think about. When your dog goes for an exercise, it's basically going for a hunt and comes home and eats. Elizabeth, how soon after you walk them in the morning? How soon after you walk them? You can feed them right away after walking. After you walk them, you feed them, right? You don't have to wait or anything. Just feed them right after. But don't exercise them after feeding. After feeding, it's time to relax and chill and sleep. Uh, Sarb. It's very hard for me to pronounce that. Sora. I'm guessing it's Sora. That B is silent. I'm guessing Sora. Sora. My dog vomits after bathing and gets normal in 30 to 40 minutes. What should I do? So that means your dog gets anxious during the bathing, taking a bath, and it annoys its system, therefore it throws up. So make sure you're not feeding your dog before giving a bath. So maybe give bath maybe 6 to 8 hours after it's been fed, or feed after the bath. Does it make sense? That would be my suggestion. Thing next is Christopher Cruz. I have a 3-year-old Doberman and he's pooping and peeing everywhere outside and inside. How do I get him to poop in one place? Good question. So what happens? He's pooping and peeing everywhere outside and inside, inside and outside. 3-year-old Doberman. So if you have a 3-year-old dog and he's still doing that, there's a few things that are happening. First thing that I'm thinking is that your dog is not fully house trained. Yes, even though it's 3 years old, I have a feeling is not fully house trained. What that means, house training is teaching the dog to learn how to control its system, and then doing it certain place and certain time, right? That's what should happen if a dog is properly house trained or potty trained, house trained in this case. So what you want to do is, here's going to be your homework for the next 3 days, 2 to 3 days. You're going to walk your doggy right after feeding, playing, sleeping, or every 2 to 3 hours. You're going to put a leash on and you're going to take it outside somewhere that you want, a designated area that you want your dog to do its business. Either it's in your backyard or on the street somewhere. You take it there and you wait there until your dog does it. If it does, great. Praise it, say good boy, good girl, or I'm not sure if it's a him. Okay, good boy, yes. Praise him, celebrate that he did his business there. If it doesn't, keep the leash on, bring it back home, keep the leash on your Dobby while you're doing your stuff. Let's say if you're in the kitchen, you're going to have the leash on attached to you. You can just attach it around your waist and have your dog by you while you're cooking and you're doing your stuff. Or you can put your Dobby in a crate. So the purpose of this is to supervise and not let your Dobby to be free to go and do its business in the house. You want to say, I will take care of you and I'll teach you when to do it, what to do it, where to do it. So you're sitting on a desk in your office and you're working on your stuff. Your dog is attached to you on the leash or attached to the desk on the leash. So you're supervising it and you're keeping an eye on your Dobby. So if you notice your Dobby is acting weird, that means wants to go and do its business. You take it outside again where you designated, you selected for your dog to do his business. You take it there, wait again 2, 3, 4 minutes. If it does it, does it. If it doesn't, bring it back, keep it on leash. That would be your task for the next 2, 3 days until you teach your dog, your Dobby, that this is what I want you to do. This is how I want you to do this. Okay? And if you do that for 2, 3 days, your dog is going to learn it. And once it learns it, you just have to make the opportunity for your dog to do its business, that spot all the time. Hopefully that makes sense. And a side note to this question, if your dog is choosing, if it's 3 years old and is choosing to poop in the house, it could be that your doggy is stressed or anxious from something and is communicating to you, is leaving message on in your home, is telling you that this thing, whatever it is bothering me. And because they can't tell us that, what they do, they leave messages. They leave pee or poo in certain area in the house to give us heads up that, hey, something is bothering me. So maybe figure out what is bothering your dog as well. Judith, I think Judith or Udit says hello. Hello, thank you for being here. We have Critical Thinker 313. Your awesome, infinite gratitude for your channel and your training techniques. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really get good, appreciate feedbacks like this, because it gives me the hope and courage to continue on and help you, every dog owner, to become an educated dog lover. Thank you for the feedback. We have Udit is saying, I have a Rottweiler, 3 months old. He doesn't listen or come. The reason that happens, there's a reason why a dog doesn't listen or doesn't come, is because few things happens again. You either went too fast or too soon. You off-leashed your dog, your Rottie, too soon, when it's not ready to be off-leashed, therefore it's not going to listen to you. For a dog to listen to you and come to you, for instance, especially if you want it to come to you off-leash and listen to you and come all the time, it will take 6 months to a year of on-leash training. That's very important to learn and understand, that you can't expect a dog to give you what you want within few months or few weeks. The reason for that is because you don't have a solid connection with your puppy yet, right? Your Rottie hasn't still connected with you fully to the point that it says and it accepts the fact that you are the one that needs to listen to you. You need to work on it for a long time, not only to get feedback from you, but to give feedback to your dog and to get it to learn and listen to you and understand what you actually, who you are, and what do you mean when you say come, for example. At the moment, come, it doesn't mean anything to your dog because you haven't practiced enough for a long time, first of all, for it to mean what come means, right? Second of all, come in the house is different than come in the park, right? At the park. Come in the house means I come to you because there's food maybe, but when you're at the park and there's distractions, hundreds of distractions, come in that moment, it dissolves and becomes one of the sounds or distractions in that environment and doesn't listen to you. Obviously, it's not going to give you the feedback that you want because it can't distinguish between calm and other distractions. So it takes a long time for a dog to learn, especially the recall command or calm command, which many dog owners, they don't take the time to teach and train the dog. Therefore, what happens is it becomes an issue where the dog, you're saying come, Rover, come, Rover, come, and you start getting angry, and the dog says, whoa, this human is angry now, or he's pissed at me now. I'm not going to go to him, right? Because he's pissed, right? Therefore, you're not going to get the results that you want, right? So it takes time to teach it. So now, if you want to learn how to improve and teach the calm command, I would suggest you to watch the following video that I'm going to share in the chat area. It's called Calm Command. Okay, so I'm going to put the link in the chat area. Please watch that video and learn what you need to do. Thank you for the question. Critical thinker, I too feed after a walk. They eat with gratitude. Exactly, yes. That's another good feedback and great idea. Yes, and they really appreciate that as well. Yes. Thank you for the feedback. Yan is saying, should you feed your dog all at once or spread it out throughout the day? If you feed one big meal to a dog, the problem is that they will have a hard time digesting it. That's the only problem that we have. You have to understand that domesticated dogs are different than wolves. Wolves have the capacity and the ability to gulp down maybe the entire prey that they've killed and eat the whole thing at once and not have any issues. But domesticated dogs, because of controlled breeding and all that, it's just not designed. They're not designed to eat a big meal. Therefore, I suggest you to divide it in maximum 2 meals a day. One in the morning, one in the evening, so they have an easier time to digest the food. Because if you feed them if you feed them one big meal, what happens is they may have problems over a long term, right? So that would be it. That's a good question, and that would be it for today. The last question was answered, and critical thinker is giving lots of high paws and lots of love. Thank you very much. Judith is saying, thank you so much, sir. You are awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for the feedback. Hope you enjoyed this live session. I'll be back next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to answer your questions. At the moment, we're going back to normal for the past few months because of the situation that was happening in this crazy world, and crazy things were happening. I started going 2 times a week for live sessions, but now we're going to back to normal, hopefully, and we're going to come to do the live session once a week, which is on Fridays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'll be releasing a new video every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully you can join me on my live sessions, and also you can watch my videos, my upcoming videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, and remember to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video or if I go live. And also, if I didn't answer any of your questions, or I missed it, or you still have questions, feel free to leave those questions in the comments area. I read them all and answer them all. And thank you for being here, and I really enjoyed this live session. And until next time, have fun with your dog.